Okay, we're going to be going on another jaunt today in our Porsche 956. Letting everything load up here. And we're going to be heading to South Africa, to Kyalami. Pretty challenging track. Checking the weather conditions and my tire compound, fuel load, all that. Getting ready for qualifying. As you can see, this thing's pretty squirrely on this track. Now this is the main front straightaway. Starting the first qualifying lap right here. And there's certain parts of this track that are quite hard to get right. And that corner right there is one of them. So that cost me quite a bit as far as qualifying time goes. This is another corner that's fairly tricky. Pretty severe elevation change here. And then at the top of this crest is a real slow hairpin leading down a hill. Stay on the track, buddy. Stay on the track. Heading down this hill into a pretty tight right-hander. And up through this little short chute, I guess you could say. And coming around to the front straightaway again. And this is, so I ended up being fifth at the conclusion of that lap. But here I am on the third lap, and you can see that I've dropped down to ninth. And you certainly are able to gain a lot of speed in short sections with this car. This 956 is just insanely fast. And then here I come around to the final qualifying lap. And at the end of the day, I end up being 10th in qualifying. And I would certainly like to be able to gain positions, but much of the competition is these Ferrari Formula One cars. And they're pretty hard to beat out. And here we'll have a look at the other competitors. And as you can see, everybody that's in the front of the pack is in a Formula One car. It isn't until you get to the 10th position that you get a P2 car, like the one that I'm driving, a prototype. And there's a Chevy, a Porsche, and so here we go. And we're off. A couple of guys bump into me a little bit. One guy spins out. That guy there went off track. And basically my objective is to just maintain my position. I'd love to gain a few spots, but that's going to be hard. And there are certain people like that Mr. Red Bull there that do go off track. But like that guy that just flew past me like I was standing still. There's other people that have the same objective. They want to gain positions. It is a race after all. And coming into this right-hander, it's pretty slow corner. And then there's a little kind of a sweeper, you know, tighter, but leading down this little short chute coming around to the front straightaway. Now that guy goes wide. There's another car with a Red Bull paint job, but they're so fast. He just disappears down the straightaway. And I catch up to him a little bit because he has to slow down so much for that corner right there, but immediately he's just gone. Now I have managed to work myself up to 8th place, but that's really as a result of other people's mistakes, not so much my impressive driving skills. But I have gained a couple of spots, and I'd like to be able to keep that. Got 3 more laps to go, and this race is short enough to where you won't have to pit and get a set of tires. And there's many very, very fast sections. And there's also a lot of tight, slow. And there's another fella that went off track. But he's immediately back on it. And I pretty well disappear in that guy's rearview mirror. That's that Red Bull guy that went off track a couple of laps ago. He was able to work himself back up to pretty much where he was. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to catch him. I swing wide there, and that cost me a time penalty. Now, as I start making my way around this fourth lap, there's a couple of little sections where I start to feel in the car, I start to feel a little bit of tire fade. But I know that the race is only 5 laps long, so I'm not going to pit. I'm just going to approach the corners a little bit more delicately and try to not go off track, which is actually really easy to do at this track. It's real easy to, like there, it was real possible that I could have went off track right there. But I eased off the throttle and it kind of pulled me back over towards the track. And even here I overshoot that. But I'm able to make my way around here. Coming up, getting ready for the final lap. Big drag race down the straightaway where you get up to about 180 miles an hour or 190 miles an hour. And then there's another one of those Ferraris. That guy overtakes me, moves me back to 10th place. And see there's an example that I was talking about earlier. That corner can be tricky, and I really misjudged that corner. And that cost me quite a bit of track position. And part of that is that tire fade that I began feeling. Because this section right here, I'm not going as hard through this section as I ordinarily would. And then the front tires slide quite a bit going into that left-hand hairpin. And once again, I almost go off track right there. And this guy pretty much came out of nowhere. And he's kind of in my way, but there's not a lot I can do about it. And I try to avoid him as best I can. And then it's a drag race down to the start-finish line. And so that's the race at Kyalami, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in a Porsche 956. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the racetrack.